Hello everyone, welcome back to PM Academy. Today's topic is cultural globalization. Dear students, cultural globalization is not a new phenomenon, but during the period of globalization for the last 30 years, it has taken the new shape, new dimension, or you can say it has dramatically changed our the society or our the cultural system. But while talking about the cultural globalization, it refers to movement of one's values or migration of one's values, one's ideas, one's meaning, one's culture, one's traditions throughout the world and through various means. And these values, meanings, ideas, cultures are disseminated, and also it is either accepted or it is or assimilated through the various means and throughout the world. So best way to understand the cultural globalization, because nowadays in Indian scenario you see, dear students, very commonly all the Indians are using like okay, thank you, thumbs up sign, sorry, all these things were very commonly used by the Indian students, Indian, you can say even the middle aged peoples or senior citizens of Indians. But these the words and the phrases really not Indians. It is the Western concept or Western ideas or the phrases. But it has been used to the Indian society due to means actual due to the Western impact, you can say, or due to the globalizations. So similarly, this the cultural globalizations, it is possible or it has happened through the various means. Means one best example I can give you, that is migration. Migration one of the important factor through which the cultural globalization has become possible. Migration is not a new phenomenon. It is not today. It's several centuries before migration was there. But that migration was the different. Today's migration is the different. That time migration, people were migrating with their the ideas, values and all these things. But there the migration was the different purpose, either purpose of the conquest or for missionary work or for the trade purpose. And while talking about the trade, in that time the trade was a limited sphere. But in last 30 years, if you see, while talking about the migration, people are migrating. That is a cross migration. We are migrating to the other country. They are also coming to our countries. So all this happening not only for the trade and commerce, for the trade commerce, for the education, for you can say the for the ecotourism, for the health tourism. So different aspects are there. The people are migrating for the different purpose. So all people are traveling. Even we are traveling to the other parts of the world, they are also coming to our countries for the different purpose. So due to this the migrations, particularly in the last 30 years, if you see, due to the globalizations, the migration is rapidly growing. And due to this the migration, what happens actually, the cultural globalizations has taken the new shape, new dimensions, or our the culture, our society has little bit globalized, you can say, little bit even more globalized, you can say. Dear students, also I just want to tell you another form of the another form or another aspect of the cultural globalization is the food, or globalization of the food is one of the best example of the, you can say, cultural globalization. How is it possible? Because every community, every country, every state, every religious people, they have their own food habits. And nowadays you see, these the food habits has rapidly been, these food habits have been replaced by the modern concepts of the Western concept of like the McDonald, like the soft drinks, or you can say like um, pizza. So all these things happened due to the cultural globalizations, or you can say due to the impact of the Western culture. Even the Indian food habits, it has rapidly changed. Because why it has changed? Because due to the migration, due to the impact by watching of the televisions, reading of the newspapers, or interacting with the various peoples across the globe, so this food habit also has been changed or has been modified, or that means lot of new things, lot of the things like what I told you, the western foods are available not only in the western countries, also in the Indians, not only in the Indian metros but also the smaller cities of the India. So it has become possible due to also cultural globalizations. And also another aspect we can say, dear students, that is sports. Globalization of the sports is one of the best example of the cultural globalization. Why it is sports? Already in the earlier days sports was there, in today's sports is there, but today's sports, earlier sports are the different. When we are talking about the sports, we are watching the sports through the televisions by sitting at home, whether the match is played in the Australia or in the New Zealand or in the USA or in the UK, but by sitting at in Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Chennai, Bangalore, Bhubaneswar, we see all these matches live. It has become possible. But that is one aspect. I am taking other aspect is that actually nowadays what happens every year or every fourth year, international matches are conducted in the field of footballs, in the field of basketballs, or you can say like badmintons or table tennis. Even besides all these things, also Olympics are conducted every fourth year. So on Olympics, all the countries participate in this the Olympic Games. Besides the Olympic, Commonwealth Games are there. Europe, European Cup footballs are there. So due to all these things, what happens? The sports has become internationalized. When the sports are internationalized, it has united all the peoples. Now people are feeling oneness. That means globe is there. The globe is as a country. When we are identifying at the physical boundaries of the countries, now people are talking about the globe as a one country. So internationalization of sports is one of the major factor for the globalization. Then global consumption behavior. Global consumption behavior means actual. In the metro cities, you will see the consumption habits of the peoples have changed. And while going to the like eateries, or you can say like the restaurant bars, so we are following the Western models. And also in the our the um, residence parts actual, while living in a particular apartments or in the flats actual, we are using the Western models or Western furnitures, or we are wearing the latest watches and latest model. We are using also the latest models of the TVs, and you can say latest furnitures also we are also using. Besides also, and what I can also tell you, the consumption behavior means actual, even the latest models of the four-wheelers, two-wheelers also available, and people are using nowadays. Even the people of Asian and the South American countries, earlier they are not getting all these things easily. Now all these things are possible. Another best example is that consumption behavior of the people have changed due to the large number of malls, multiplex, or you can say shopping malls are available all over the India. So due to that, actually the consumption behavior of the people have changed in the India. Then next aspect is concept of the global village of the global consciousness. Now what happens actually, dear students? Now the people not thinking that I belong to India, they belong to USA, or they belong to the UK, they belong to Switzerland. Now the thinking that global is just like a one village, and that is a that means actually due to the educations, due to the globalization, global culture or global consciousness has developed. How is it possible? How it can be explained? How it can be understood? Dear students, we are watching the televisions and we came to know that actual a earthquake or volcanic eruptions or the disaster, natural disaster like the cyclone or the severe flood happened anywhere else, and lakhs of the crores of the people were affected. Immediately what happens? Other parts of the world, people, countries, and also the government staffs, government departments very actively they pour in the funds for the or provide the assistance to the needy and the affected peoples. So now why it is happening? Because people are thinking that the world is they are the one home. When the particular part of the world is affected due to the natural disaster, other part of the world peoples are pouring the funds assistance, for betterment of these the brothers and the sisters in the other parts of the world. And this has happened due to the globalization, or you can say the cultural globalizations. We are not finding in the difference between that group of people and our group of people. So then next question, or next thing I can discuss with you so far the cultural globalization is concerned, that is the de-traditionalizations. De-traditionalism means earlier people are believing they are the own tradition, own cultures. Now it has also changed due to the globalizations. Same people are asking the question to their the tradition, to their the cultures. They are saying that it is conservative, it is orthodox, so closed door customs. So now what happens actually, they are raising the voice. It should be liberalized, it should be flexible, it should be open, we have to coexist with the other cultures. Even they are realizing that actually a lot of alternatives are available for the traditions, and if they want they can also change the other traditions. All these things are happening today due to the globalizations, and this is best way the de-traditionalizations can be explained. Then dear students, certain global problems are there. I am giving the another example that actually when certain global problems are there, all people are the united. Global problems like the terrorism, like the nuclear issues, like the global warming, or like the ecological imbalances or ecological issues. When all these things happens any part of the world, or when all these things means actually when the international conference is needed, in this case all the people are the united, and all the people, all the countries also, they accept what it was decided in the international forum, because it is a global issue. So no one take it that actually it belongs to me or belongs to them, because all these issues taken as the globally. So it has become possible also due to the globalization. Then dear students, I just want to give one more example. COVID-19. COVID-19 issue just surfaced the 2 years before. When the COVID-19 surfaced, so one pattern was followed all over the world, using of the mask, using of the sanitizers, or you can say like the maintaining of the social distancing and following of the lockdowns. It was done not only here, it was followed all over the world. Similar pattern was followed because to prevent and to overcome the COVID-19 or to overcome the pandemics. So now what happens actually, globe is just like our the village. It has happened due to the globalizations. Now also media has played very the vital role for the cultural globalizations. Not only the regional or the national medias or the print medias, even the international electronic medias like you can say BBC, like CNN, like the Euronews, Fox News, Al Jazeera, they have played very the vital role for changing the outlook of the peoples, because they are bringing the global pictures before the public through the television channels or through the news or the programs. And also tourism. Nowadays people are traveling to the different parts of the world for the tourist purpose, particularly in the you can say year endings or in the summers. People travel all over. All the people, they travel different parts of the world, and they mingle with the people. They mingle with the different cultures. So it has become one of the factors for the cultural globalization. Due to this the cultural globalization, dear students, what has happened, certain results we have also seen. But what happens actually, homogenizations. Due to the homogenization, what happens, the mighty culture invaded the local culture eliminated, mighty culture prevailed. And heterogenizations, in this case what happens actually, dear students, so cultural diversity in the local areas or in the local culture, cultural diversity in the local cultures was also seen, because various types of the cultures also existed in the or entered into the local culture, and it happened due to the heterogenizations. Then also another aspect is the another phenomenon is that is the hybridizations. Sometimes what happens, the two culture class, they are not ready to accept each other. So in this case a synthesis also is done, or by the synthesis a new culture is created. That means some elements from X culture and another elements from the Y culture. In this way the new synthesis is done or the new culture is created. That is known as the hybridizations. Then dear students, last one is the polarizations. Polarization means actually, dear students, local culture experience their continuous transformations and the reinventions due to the influence of the global factors and the global forces. With local culture, what happens? Local tradition, local cultures, they come under the influence of the global cultures or global factors or global forces or so global regions. So in this case, what happens? Actual local culture takes the new shape or reinvent some things or try to coexist with the global culture and the global systems. So in this way, the cultural globalization has happened and all over the world, and also India is not exempted of it. And India is best example how the cultural globalization has happened, because now we have become modern, westernized. It is the best example of the cultural globalization. Before concluding the lecture, dear students, it is my request to you to like my channels, like my lecture, and also subscribe if you are the first viewers, and also press the bell icon to get the first notification. Once again, request you, dear students, be subscriber of my channel. Thank you, dear students. Thank you for today. Thank you very much.